Raise your hand if you've ever checked your emails on holiday. And keep it up if doing so has ever ruined one of your days or even the entire trip. Well, in this video, I'm going to share the embarrassing story of how I let a simple error destroy a perfect family holiday, but I will also show you the exact framework that I now use to prevent business anxiety from taking over my life. If you're tired of being held hostage by your business, this might be the most important video you watch this year. In case you don't know me, my name is Olly Richards. I'm the founder of StoryLearning.com. It's a multi-million-dollar online education business. I'm also a mentor and advisor to other online education entrepreneurs, many of whom struggle with anxiety from business intruding into their lives in many different ways. A few summers ago, I was on a driving holiday in Scotland. It was absolutely glorious, driving through the dramatic landscapes of Skye and Inverness. I felt like I was on Route 66 or something like that. Not that I've ever been on Route 66. It just felt a little bit otherworldly. Apparently, it rains a lot in Scotland, but not this time. We had 2 or 3 weeks of pure sunshine. I remember everyone at the time saying to me, this never happens. You don't know how lucky you are. And we ended up in St. Andrews. The beach, the golf course, the town, it was all basked in summer sun, and I felt incredibly lucky. But unfortunately, I didn't feel good. You see, a few days into the holiday, someone on my team forwarded me a cash flow report from my business, Story Learning, and it was accompanied with the text message, "Something's not right." Money wasn't coming in, and we didn't know why. Now, if there's one thing you don't want to hear right at the start of a big holiday where the whole purpose is to relax, de-stress, and chill, it's the words, "Something's not right." I couldn't do anything about it myself. I didn't even have my laptop with me, so I relied on my team. I said, please dig into this and keep me updated. And over the next week or so, we were back and forth on WhatsApp trying to diagnose the problem and failing. And the longer it went on, the more anxious I became. There's only one thing worse than having a major problem in your business. It's having a major problem and not being around to do anything about it. Now, I won't bore you with the details, but long story short, despite the incredible surroundings and weather, uninterrupted family time, and so on, I spent much of the holiday anxious and distracted. And I remember my daughter saying to me at the time, "Why is Daddy always on his phone?" And that bit hurt even more than the business anxiety. Parents among you will understand this. And you want to know the hilarious bit? Go on then, I will tell you. It ended up being a reporting error. A complete and utter nothing burger. Holiday ruined for absolutely nothing. You've got to go through these kind of experiences in order to learn from them. And there's not a seasoned entrepreneur watching this video who hasn't had this happen to them at least once. You put in place structures to safeguard your own headspace so that you can't easily be railroaded like I was on this holiday. And getting this right doesn't just affect your well-being, it makes you a much more effective entrepreneur and CEO too. How do you prevent this happening? There's an entrepreneur I'm working with in the UK who told me the other day, last week I officially stepped down as CEO of my company. Now, it was our final mentorship call, and I was so proud of him for having achieved this because when we started working together just over a year prior, his stated goal was to be out of the day-to-day within 6 months. And I was pretty doubtful. Not many people achieved this, but all credit to him, he pulled it off. It wasn't 6 months, it was more like 12 months, but he did have the great Google apocalypse to navigate, so I'll go easy on him. In our final call, he talked about the semi-retirement that he was looking forward to enjoying, the peace of mind that he craved. And I asked how he was going to engineer and protect his peace of mind during this time. And he said to me, "I get a weekly cash flow report from my team." And immediately alarm bells started ringing in my head. See, I don't see how it's possible to be receiving a weekly cash flow report and also be chill. Now, I get the impulse. After all, cash flow reports are the lifeblood of the company. However, weekly reporting of any kind can lie to you. Blips happen. It's possible to have a week where you make 50% of the revenue that you normally make, and then the following week it's 150%, making the grand total of, you guessed it, 100%. It could be due to some holiday in the US or some world event that needs people to stop behaving normally for a few days. These things happen. And so these fluctuations are fine. It's all good, right? Except if you receive the first week's report, one where you're 50% down, last thing on a Friday afternoon. Now guess what's happening? That's right, you are spending the whole weekend wondering if the business is falling apart. Weekend lost. That's what, and this is what happened to me in Scotland. And we want to avoid this. To live a chilled life as a business owner, not CEO, but business owner, a few things have to happen with finances. You need to see key financial reports monthly or quarterly, not weekly. Someone other than you needs to own KPIs around finances. You need safeguards so that if there is a problem that the KPI owner can't handle, it then automatically gets escalated to you. And there are all kinds of benefits to seeing reports at less regular intervals. For one, you avoid those reporting blips that can send you sideways unnecessarily, ruining your Negroni and disturbing your sunsets. But more important, it's easier to spot trends when you're looking at the macro scale. And don't underestimate this. Trends reveal themselves over months and years, not days and weeks. When you're very close to the numbers, it's much harder to notice larger trends. And from a strategic perspective, which is your job, nothing much matters on a weekly timescale. The only thing you need to be sure of is that the alarm will be sounded if there is a problem that's been verified, and that's where the safeguarding comes in. I call it an early warning system, and the best early warning system is stupid simple. You simply define the core KPIs for the business, whatever that is for you, cash in, leads, traffic, cost per lead, cost per acquisition, and make sure that a senior person is monitoring those weekly. If any one metric is down less than 20%, monitor it. If it's still down the following week, escalate it. If any one metric is down more than 50%, immediately escalate it. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. In fact, it shouldn't be. But this is enough for you to be able to sleep at night while also allowing you to add value by keeping distance. It's counterintuitive, but there's a lot to that bit about adding value by keeping your distance. So my advice to my entrepreneur friend was to get some altitude between him and the reports. Cash flow reports once a quarter. It's not a cash-intensive business, so that works. KPIs once a month, and a clear system for escalation. Now, to be clear, the team will be looking at this stuff weekly. Building a team around you is supposed to buy you your freedom and your headspace, so use your team to help you achieve this. And if you have good people, then trust them to manage things properly. It's funny, in so many ways, business continues to be hard, just in different ways. But I hope this gives you some sort of perspective. And if you'd like to see an example of exactly how to create the kind of early warning system dashboard that I'm talking about, then in this video over here, you'll see exactly how to do it.